Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? Hopefully, the intro worked all right. Let me just remove it. I've had to change how to do it. There we go. Right. Good evening. How are we all doing? Welcome back to another stream on the channel. We're here for a very big one. I'm back from holiday, back with the streams. Consistent content is here. Let's stick the banner up because it looks like, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, Dean Smith is set to be appointed as the new Leicester City interim manager. It is pretty much confirmed. We are just waiting for the announcement. It's been confirmed by Sky Sports and Rob Dorset. So lots to discuss. Obviously, I've missed out on the last couple of games as well. So we'll quickly talk upon them ones as well. But yeah, massive news. Dean Smith, Craig Shakespeare and John Terry are set to be coming in. Of course, Shakespeare and Terry as part of the assistant coaches. Obviously, Dean Smith, the former Aston Villa and Brentford manager, to be Leicester's new manager until the end of the season. Importantly, tonight, let me know your thoughts on this managerial appointment in the comments. There is so much to talk about, really. I don't really know where to start. It's taken far too long, taken over a week now to appoint. Obviously, Dean Smith, there was linked with Rafa Benitez. It looked like it was going to be Jesse Marsch even a couple of days ago. Graham Potter shouts, he rejected us. March rejected us. We were interested in Benitez, but it looks like now it will be Dean Smith to be the new Leicester manager and to be in charge for the game on Saturday against Manchester City. But yeah, let's get into the chat tonight. It's good to be back. I'm going to be as consistent as possible now until the end of the season. So there we go. We've got Jacob in here, who is a Norwich fan. Tomorrow night, I've also got a Aston Villa fan on the channel, Harry. He's going to come on and really talk about the tactics and what type of things we can expect from Dean Smith. So make sure to tune in for that one tomorrow night so we can all, and even me, we can learn a bit more about how Dean Smith could set Leicester up, how we can line up, and if most importantly, if we can escape the relegation zone. But yeah, you'll win your first game with him, and from then it will go downhill. Fantastic. We love the positivity, but the most important thing for me, we need to get behind the manager. Obviously, on Saturday, I haven't spoke about the game, but obviously it was very toxic towards the end, which I heard from watching it. So I think now the most important thing is just to get behind Dino, get behind Craig and John Terry, and really try and push the players on for these final 8 games. Because as we know, we are in the mud right now, and I think we just need to get behind the boys. Hello, Hayden, mate. Hope you're doing all right. Jerry as well in here. March didn't want a contract in the season. He wanted longer on, and that's why I said no. And that's fair enough in my opinion. I also think he watched us on Saturday and thought, forget that. I'm not coming to these Muppets really, because Saturday was absolutely awful. But let's not talk about Saturday. Dino's Blue Army, and we were here to take over. We were here to stay up. Yeah, here's the big news then from Rob Dorset. Who isn't verified for some reason. But yeah, understand deal agreed for Dean Smith to be the new LCFC manager to the end of the season. Craig Shakespeare and John Terry will come in too as part of the coaching team. Contracts expected to be signed shortly. Have to give Leicester credit. Trio will be the best chance of survival. I don't really agree with the last part of the tweet there, but yeah, pretty much Dean Smith, etc., the coaching staff are going to be on short-term contracts at the end of the season on the interim basis, and then depending on where Leicester finish, God forbid we stay up, then Leicester will obviously reassess the options. If Dean Smith comes in and does a fantastic job, he could have the job next season, but we'll have to see. Obviously, the main thing now is to stay up and then to reassess the options in the summer. And if we do stay up, I think we can really try and push on. But yeah, these last couple of months of the season, not going to be fun. Also, I think it's got to be Dean Smith's Blue and White Army, because chanting Dean Smith's Blue Army don't go. That is true. That's true. I haven't thought that one through yet, Jerry. Come on. He's quick on it, Jerry. He's quick as it is, Jerry. But yeah, obviously there's been several links over managers. I think personally, I honestly think this is the best lot we could have got. There's all well and saying, we could have got Potter and whatnot, but there was zero chance that we were going to get a good manager. Well, an elite world-class manager. Absolutely zero chance, because no one wants to come in and have the risk of getting relegation on the CV. And I think with Dean Smith, who, he was at Norwich, didn't do fantastically well. To be fair, I thought he did well at Villa at times. Obviously, went on a poor run to the end, which got the sack. But if you look at Villa, if you look at Aston Villa in lockdown, obviously to beat Liverpool 7-2, they're pushing for a European place. I think they came. Was it top? I think it was around 10th. It was mid-table. I thought he did all right. Obviously, he got Villa promoted. Importantly, he got Aston Villa safety as well in the 2019-20 year. Just like I said, tomorrow night I'll be having Harry on the channel. He's put a good thread on Twitter as well, so make sure to go and read that. It's Harry Batters. I'll try and show it towards the end of the stream tonight. Yeah, make sure to have a read about that. But I think for one, D Smith's a good appointment. Craig Shakespeare's massive as well, in my opinion. Of course, he knows Leicester inside and out, knows everything about the club, was manager a few years ago, was obviously assistant for a long period of time, which is now going to be once again. And John Terry as well. I think John Terry, of course, the defensive coaching is going to be massively improved from Kolo Toure, who was obviously left, but he was there a few months ago. And I think just John Terry as well. Every single player, if you look at every player in the dressing room, they're going to respect him, and that's key for me. And I just think that the fresh faces, and honestly, I don't think it can get any worse than Adam Sadler and Mike Starr. So new faces, fresh ideas, and that is exactly what we needed. Yes, it's probably too late, but I think it's now or never really. And I think just having these three in charge is just going to hopefully turn things around and have that little bit of a spark, and hopefully we can get that new manager bounce away at Man City, which is going to be very fun. But rather Smith than Marsch, so yeah, 100% I agree with that. To be fair, I would have taken Marsch as well. Honestly, I don't understand people on Leicester Twitter. Obviously, I don't get why everyone thinks we're going to sign like a super manager. Obviously, there was talk about Rafa as well, which personally I was a bit more unsure about that. But I honestly think Dean Smith probably is the best option. It doesn't sound the best option, but if you look at it in truth, and just like I said, we'll discuss more about Dean Smith later and tomorrow. But I just think it's the best thing we could have done, really, because just like I said, there's no chance in the world we're going to get anyone better, really. You could say Rafa, but exactly that. And that's what I mean. I just think someone on an interim basis is the best possible thing. There was talk about Rafa Hasenhüttl as well, who, yeah, I would have taken. But for me, we need someone to come in who's going to hit the ground running. And with Dean Smith, I'm not too sure, but I think just having someone like Shakespeare in as well is just going to massively improve things around. But yeah, boys, let me know your thoughts in the chat. I want Mourinho long term. I mean, that'd be my dream manager. I love Jose Mourinho, but I don't think it would happen. But personally, if Leicester can stay up, and if we can, have some funds in the summer of some sort, yes, we can maybe get a decent manager in, maybe Graham Potter. But I just think now the focus is on to staying up. And if we do stay up, I really think we can push on next year. But yeah, it's a massive 8 games, which is completely obvious. But I heard from a Villa mate, he's really good, and the reason why Villa are doing so well. And yeah, I think watching Aston Villa back then, obviously they had Jack Grealish, who obviously did very well for them and was their star player by an absolute mile. But Dean Smith has been proven to bring in good players and get the best out of players. He stayed up with an Aston Villa side with like Samatta up front. Trezeguet obviously did score against us, but you know what I mean, like Conor Houriham, these type of players, and just about kept them up. And the Leicester team right now is miles better. And of course, the Premier League has improved since then. But if he's done it with those players, why can't he get the best out of the players which we've got? Who overall, if you look at it realistically, we have got a very good squad, which should be nowhere near this relegation zone. But yeah, let's have a quick look then on Dean Smith in a bit more detail. Then we're going to go on to the coach's voice. I ain't going to show a video, but I think you can. It's one of those videos where I think quite a few managers have had it, so feel free to show it up. Yeah, let's have a quick look at his playing style. Just like I said, I'll discuss it a bit more tomorrow with an Aston Villa fan who obviously knows more about Dean Smith and Dean Smith at Aston Villa for about over 3 years, weren't it? So yeah. Brentford, he obviously was at Brentford. He's a proactive 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1, which will obviously suit Leicester. That's what we've gone with mostly under Rodgers. They're the 4 highest scorers in the Championship. They employed either a single or a double pivot. The fullbacks provided the width in the build-up phase, although they rarely overlapped in attack. The wide forward retains the team's width, and the attacking central midfielder or midfielders advanced into particularly high areas. And just reading that alone is perfect for us, I think. The midfielders are progressing. That can be Maddison and Tielemans when obviously Tielemans returns. He's playing with a 4-3-3, which Leicester are used to playing. That's what we've gone with most of the time this season as well. They have obviously employed a single or a double pivot, which is flexible. And I've just reading that playing style there, just filled me with a slight bit more confidence. When he was at Brentford, they kept the ball well under Smith, and opponents often dropped into a low block against them. To break these blocks down, they regularly use rotations with their attacking midfielders overlapped around the outside of their wide forwards. Ollie Watkins, who of course is absolutely firing right now, was particularly influential when drifting in from the wide starting position on the left. And obviously for Leicester, that's probably not as suited because, depending on who takes up front, we're not going to really have a drifting forward like Iheanacho, Daka or Vardy. They're either more central or Iheanacho is going to come to feet. And, it's going to be interesting to see what Dean Smith obviously does. Obviously, if you just joined us, he hasn't been officially announced, but it's pretty much done. And yeah, it's exciting. Like it's something fresh. We haven't had a new manager in well long. Obviously, Rodgers was here for 4 years, wasn't he? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, let's get back into the chat. I'll read a bit more of that later on because it's quite interesting. I'm going to Wolves at home. I only just realised it's between my 2-week mock exams. I live on the south coast. So I've been on day. Ouch. Yeah, that's what I do anyway. The mocks come last. I had mocks the week after Southampton away. So do it. I asked my friend because he's a Norwich fan. He thinks Smith isn't the best of the managers for Leicester, but I think he deserves a chance to improve. And yeah, that's 100%. We can't. He's just come in. Well, not yet, but he will. We have to give the guy a chance. We have to back him, and that's the most important thing for me. If we lose to Man City, which we probably will, we can't get on the back immediately. Like, come on. It's all good booing and stuff. And yes, we've been awful this year. You pay your money for the ticket and you boo. And even I've booed at times this year. But I just think now it's just not going to really help. I just think that the whole fan base just needs to try and get behind the team. The appointment of John Terry at Leicester has not gone well. I saw that on Twitter. For God's sake. That's cool. I actually believed the first bit of it as well until I read the last bit. Do you think Maddison will leave this summer transfer window? Yeah, I think he'll leave 100%. I don't think it'll be 100 mil. There was a report a few weeks ago saying about 50 mil. Now, obviously, that's because he's got 1 year left on the contract. So, yeah, I think he'll go. I think the max we'll get will probably be about 50 to 60 mil, disappointingly. But yeah, if Maddison had 3-4 years left on his contract, yeah, I think we could be looking at 100 mil if Grealish went for that amount. So there we go. Yeah. Back onto this then. Let's have a quick more look at his tactics. We might scroll down to Aston Villa. Actually, we've got some graphics here. So this is how he played for Villa. Hopefully this doesn't get copyrighted. We'll have to see, won't we? But obviously you've got the overlapping fullback here of see, you know what I mean? They stayed up with this team. El Ghazi, Gilbert, Wesley, Grealish, Horahan, McGinn, Nakamba. This is similar to how Leicester could set up, and it's kind of it's quite similar to Brendan in a sense. Obviously got the holding midfielder, which will probably be, who knows, and Didi Mendy Samare, whatever preference he has, and then obviously you can add the lots of hopefully Yuri when he gets back, and maybe Maddison in a bit more of an advanced position. But then again, you could have Maddison out here. You got Ricardo Pereira bombing on, Barnes stretching out left. And it's quite similar to how we have set up. So I think it could work. If you look a bit more at this, you got just once again you've got the fullbacks pushed up incredibly high. Obviously, you got Cashier. On this occasion, I think you play two up top, obviously Watkins and Ings. Once again, you've got this midfield three here of the Camber in the single pivot, and then you've got obviously the wingers quite wide as well. So it's looking quite promising for now. Let's have a quick. I haven't read this yet. And there we go. Defending and press. Let's have a read of this one. This is the first sentence. Not very good. Smith's Brentford often left themselves far too exposed at the back. Their attacking approach led to them collecting too many chances. Conceding, sorry. In the 2016-17 season, they conceded more goals than 3 of the Championship's bottom 6 teams. Ouch. When Brentford's wide forwards moved infield, their attacking midfielders advanced. As a result, their fullbacks were often left isolated when opponents came on a counter attack. This is kind of scary, similar to Brendan, isn't it? So pretty much, we're going to score a load of goals and concede a load of goals. So reading that paragraph has knocked me down a bit based on that. Obviously, that's only from 1 year, so we won't read too much into that one. So we've got John Terry coming in now. We're going to be cooking, boys. Going to be cooking in. Yeah, let's get back into the chat. Keep some questions going, boys and girls. Here it is. Apparently, Maddison deleted social media. I choose not to use it, so I don't know. But apparently, he's in a bit of a bad place. Yeah, he deactivated his Twitter after the Bournemouth game, and then came back about 24 hours after. If you don't know, he posted that tweet after the Southampton game where it's like, look, but analyse the game, we'll be fine. And then obviously, pretty much the whole of Leicester Twitter just copy and pasted that and gave him grief. So yeah, pretty much Dino's Blue Army. Dino's Blue One Army. we need to get that going. Can't live the past nonsense. Yeah. I don't get the stuff on Twitter really. But yeah, let's continue our beautiful read of this then on to the. Yeah, here we go. The following season, then. I bet these images don't get copyrighted, but yeah. The following season, Smith introduced a more aggressive high press. This succeeded in that Brentford's record, the third most regains in the final third in the Championship. Their defensive record improved. Smith's attacking midfielders advanced to press alongside their narrow attack, and their back four stayed compact. Watkins and Morpay, geez, I forgot they were both there, weren't they? Who formed their first line of the press, added mobility and energy in the final third. They pressed intelligently and willingly with the aim of forcing their opponents into the areas. And that's quite similar to us, really. And that's something Leicester can really do. Let's just try and work out what's going on here. But that's an attacking phase. But if you look at Aston Villa here with how they're set up, then obviously they've got the four at the back, which is going to be similar to Leicester. Here you obviously got the double pivot of Louise and McGinn. You got the wide wing in Traore. Forget about him. Got Grealish, who's going to be Madison in this case, and as you can see, it's quite compact. And that's what we need to do. Obviously, got Watkins still leading, and at times, if you look at Leicester, say this is Daka. Daka's like back here, and when Leicester get the ball, say Louise gets it, that'll be Dewsbury or something. Daka's here. There's no out ball, and we just get locked in. And I think that's the key thing. There's all good sitting back and circling the pressure, but you've got to have the out ball as well. So decent stuff. Do you know? You know it. But yeah, obviously we're still awaiting the official announcement, so we'll keep tabs. Let me just have a quick refresh of Twitter just to see if anything is going on. But overall, I'm quite excited by it. I'm really excited by this. Everyone's going through Instagram who's following who. John Terry. But yeah. If you've got any questions, boys, feel free to let me know. We'll go into more tactics stuff tomorrow. Obviously, it can get a little bit boring. But yeah, just like I said, we are now waiting the official announcement. Interim until the end of the season. And, we got 8 games left. Put everything at it. And, never say never. Let's have a quick look at our final games once again. I know we always do this, but yeah, let's do it. Let me just get this up quickly. Craig Shakespeare coming back as well, the boy. So yeah, let me just quickly get the final fixtures up on the screen for you beautiful people. So obviously I haven't even discussed the Bournemouth and Villa game yet, have I? But yeah. So also got Man City on Saturday, which new manager or not, I don't really think we can really expect something from that. But these 3 games are absolutely massive, and this is why I just can't work out why Leicester didn't do this in the international break, because then. If you look, you've got Palace, Villa, and Bournemouth. You would have had them 3 games, and I guarantee you would have got more than no points. 100%. 100%. If we sat Rodgers in the international break, had Dean Smith and whatnot for Palace, Villa, Bournemouth, we would have got more than 0 points. I would say we probably got about 4. But yeah, we can write Man City off. You never know. I am going, so there will be a match day vlog for that game. These 3 massive: Wolves, Leeds, and Everton. Even Fulham, really, because Fulham right now are on dreadful form. We haven't won in ages, so we can get the manager bounce, work out the defensive tactics against these. Then we need to fly into the games against Wolves and Leeds and Everton. We need to get a minimum of 6 points from them, probably even 7, really, if we want any chance. And obviously we've got Liverpool, Newcastle. They're tough. West Ham is absolutely massive as well. So it's huge, absolutely huge. And I think Wolves, Leeds, Everton, and Fulham is where we're going to. That is it. Obviously, we're in a bad situation as it is. The Bournemouth game was dreadful, but we still have a chance. Some people are saying we are relegated already, which I don't believe. There's still, what are we? 3 points adrift, is it? 2 points adrift. So there's still a long shot. Obviously, lots of Bournemouth, West Ham, Wolves, Palace are breaking away now, but. If we can, obviously we are going to lose to City. Let's hope Southampton and Forest don't pick up any points. And if it stays like that, Everton, Leeds, and South. We play Leeds in a few weeks as well. We play Everton in a few weeks as well as that. So, obviously we play West Ham and Wolves in a few weeks as well. So it's in our hands, as Rodgers would like to say, and we can still peg them back. So yeah, lovely stuff. Also, the bench. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Let's discuss Villa and Bournemouth quickly. I thought against Villa we weren't actually too bad. I thought we were quite unlucky not to get a point from the game. Obviously, it was stupidity from Ndidi, who apart from that, I thought Wolves had a pretty good game, but Bournemouth was an absolute shambles. But yeah, benching Souttar for it was Bournemouth, wasn't it? Yeah, Piers and Marty came in and get mixed up. Yeah, I just can't work it out really. Can't work it out. But even apart from him, we couldn't create anything. I was watching the game on and off. I was on awful Wi-Fi trying to watch the stream in 4G, so I can't say too much. But yeah, I just don't get it. I think Souttar is going to be one of our most influential players now. You know, he can head it. You know, especially against Man City. If you are going to play that low block, which you usually do against them, there will be a few crosses coming in, especially against Haaland now. So we need to be active, and Souttar's going to be key, and be quite a stragglers on Saturday. And you know, if Smith comes in, I can pretty much guarantee Souttar's going to be playing. So if we don't get a win and a draw from the Wolves, Everton, Leeds games, at least we are we're down already lost to Saints, and exactly that we gifted Southampton and Bournemouth 6 points, which is stupid, isn't it? It really is. Can't work it out. Marty over Souttar, that's like choosing. Yeah, I know. Blows my mind. I don't get what Marty does in training. I really don't. I thought Woot was quite good against Bournemouth, but yeah, there wasn't many positives. For me, I think Castagna shouldn't start against City either. I think we should go with Ricardo. Castagna cannot defend, and he just doesn't seem to attack like he used to. Even if you look at the Palace game, he got ripped by Zaha, didn't he? And Zaha was only playing for half an hour. So it's one of them. But yeah, obviously there will be content for City on Friday night. Match the vlog on the Saturday. It's going to be fun. On Sunday, we'll obviously be talking about that. But yeah, there's going to be a few videos throughout the week as well. Talking about the new management, what's going on at Leicester, etc., etc. Grays in the chat, hope you're doing all right, mate. 100%. I've said that. I know you just came in, but yeah, I've said that a few times already. I think we just need to get behind the whole team now. Fresh start, clean slate. It's not over yet. We're in a bad situation, but it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Yeah, I'm being positive as hell tonight, but screw it. But yeah, it's not over yet. We need to get behind the players and really push them on. It's all well booing now and again, but you know, I just think now we just need to back them as much as possible. And you know, the players are short of confidence. You saw how Maddison was in this post-match interview. So, yeah, get behind the boys, and then hopefully we can get the clappers back, our boys. Come on. I woke up this morning feeling fine. Got Leicester City on my mind. We got Dino as the manager playing football. The Dino way. I think I messed that up. Yeah, decent. It's not about how... Souttar's not playing. Yeah, I can't work it out really. Is it because he missed a sitter against Villa? Is that actually? As soon as we get Sadler and Stout, and I hope I don't know about Stout, but Sadler I just don't really get him. I kind of hope he just goes. I know he's been here for about 20 years, but hello, adios. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what Smith does. I think we'll keep with the same. I think we'll keep with Stout because obviously he's the goalkeeper coach, so I reckon he'll stay. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be the most interesting team selection in 4 years on Saturday. I know it's Man City, but it's going to be very interesting to see how Leicester do line up. And Sadler said, yeah, I don't really believe that. Yeah, surely, if he's so knackered, he shouldn't even be on the bench then, really. Because what happened if Marty got injured in the first minute? You know what I mean? I don't get it. Think about the paperweights there in the first place. Second, we don't need him. I know, stupid, isn't it? Actually, I won't talk. I won't talk about the club in a negative way. Also, may get banned, so I won't say that. But I'll say it anyway. But I just don't get why they introduce mobile tickets to cut down on the carbon footprint and then bring back clappers. So I know that's almost recyclable, but surely you can make a recyclable ticket as well. But we'll have to see, won't we? But yeah, I didn't understand the clappers coming back for the superstitious thing, but it didn't really work, did it? Really didn't work. Unfortunately, Sadler was a clone. Yeah, he was, and I really think they were just Rodgers' yes men. Really, you know what I mean? I think him, Chris Davis, when Kolo Toure is there, if Rodgers ever said anything controversial or a bit different, I'd be like, yep, do it. You know what I mean? I don't think any of them really stood up to him, and that's why I don't really like a kind of management team having their own. There's like a group of them. I just don't really get it. I mean, don't hear the clappers in SK1 or L1, but nothing worse than they're in the. Yeah, it's rubbish, wasn't it? Are they bringing the clappers back? They were there against Bournemouth. I don't know if they'll stay, but I'll assume they will stay for the remainder of the season. But yeah, we'll have to see. But talking of the home atmosphere, that has got to be absolutely massive in the next couple of games as well. If you look at the Wolves game, the Everton game, Everton fans are going to be very loud on that Monday bank holiday. So we need to be on, proper on it, because when the atmosphere is good, it really does make a difference. I know it's a cliche, but it really does. That throw that they did the last game, yeah. Top has to take some responsibility. Yeah, let's talk about this. Actually, I haven't spoken about this. For the mess room, we should have had a replacement ready when Rodgers was sacked, and yeah, I completely agree with what Grace's saying here. And it's not just Top; it's the whole senior management team. And I just can't work out why it's took them so long. And if you sack a manager, you have to have a plan in place. And even if you have a manager, you need to have some sort of plan in place to get someone in. And they've just left this far too late. And I've said it a few times. Look at Aston Villa. They're Steven Gerrard. They were on the same points as us, exactly the same points as us when Gerrard was sacked. They sacked him quickly, acted quickly, got a world-class manager in Unai Emery in, where, if Leicester sacked Rodgers in October, September, we could have easily got a much better manager, and we could have turned the season around, and Villa looked like they're going to get Europe, and instead we're, probably going to get relegated. You know what I mean? It's just, and obviously Rodgers has done far more than Steven Gerrard has, but it's the same point. You need to act quickly in football, and that's what I think Top has lacked in when he has obviously been the owner. So hopefully his decision has just made the cut, and hopefully we can stay up. But yeah, I don't think they should, because it's a waste of time. Plus, they won't be able to our fans. I don't know the clappers. Clearly some of this down to the ownership and management team and all that, giving the players too high wages and poor recruitment in the last 3 years, very unlike us. And yeah, it's 100% that, and that's the thing. And most people will blame Rodgers and stuff, but you have to look at the club as a whole, really, and just the whole strategy about the whole strategy. Even in the last 3 days, it's an absolute circus trying to get a manager. 1 minute it was going to be Jesse Marsch, 100%. Next minute we're talking to Rafa Benitez. Next minute is Dean Smith, and I've said Dean Smith appointed in the title, but Jesse Marsch was pretty much going to be appointed. I was this close to buying an American flag as well for Man City, so thank God I did that right. But yeah, who knows? But I think this one is it. I think Dean Smith is done though, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. We'll have a quick check of Twitter. I assume it'll probably get announced tomorrow morning, I would say. I don't think it'll get announced tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there's nothing right now, but we'll have to. Obviously, I think it's done in a minute. Palace did it right, 100%. They actually quickly got a new manager in, and now they are pretty much safe on. Yeah, let's be honest, but yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes. We really will, and just hope that Top has just done it in the closest amount of time he could have. Rodgers is gone, and it's no different. He clearly wasn't the entire issue. Yeah, so it's right, yeah, 100%, and that's why. I don't even know why Leicester even, looked at the opportunity of having Sadler and Starwin for the rest of the season, because it was never going to work. It was never going to work at all. And even if we did beat Villa, it's the exact same thing, and that's what I mean. Right now, we need to have a change. And we looked at the tactics, and Smith plays a similar way, but it's just that fresh faces in there, something different, and someone like John Terry as well, who I think is massive, really, because every single player, especially the English players, the players like James Maddison are going to warm to him straight away. Defensively, all starts a Suter, Wout Faz, etc. Even Danny Ward will like John Terry, won't he? But yeah, I just think the influence of someone like John Terry is massive. Craig Shakespeare, who will still know some of the team members, some of the backroom staff as well, knows the club inside out, knows what Leicester is, and that's massive. And Dean Smith, who, just like I said earlier, he's been proven to get the best out of players, and we've seen him take Villa to good heights, seen him stay up with Aston Villa, and hopefully them three can work together, formulate the master plan, and help us stay up. And personally, I think all we need is about 3 more wins, a few draws, and that's it, really. I think if he can get over about 35 points this year, I think that'd be more than enough to stay up. Leave Maddison central, yeah, 100%. And I'm Maddison's biggest of fans, but he needs to up his game. He really does, because I don't know, since the World Cup, he's had flashes, but hasn't really done it consistently. And obviously, I don't expect him to score 2 goals every single week, but sometimes it's drifting out of games here and there. And obviously, that's not all. It's not all of his fault, but I just think we need a motivated, consistent Madders now. We need Tielemans back, which should be pretty soon. We just need everyone on it, really. I think Ricardo needs to start every game. He's looking decent now. Victor's back in the fold as well. Suter and Wuta centrally. Keep Daniel Iverson in goal, who's came in and done a decent job. 4-2-3-1. Back four, KDH and Mendy. Madders in the middle. Barnes, Ricky, Kelly up front. Decent. Yeah, we could use Ricky on the right as well, couldn't we? Just like you said, if we pull together, we can do this. 100%, 100% agree to that. And just look, it's still on, boys. Still on. You know what? A win, if we can get a few wins together. I think 35 points would do it. I think Southampton are pretty much done. I might do a video on Thursday going through the whole relegation thing and looking at each team's fixtures. Relegation to the Foxes. Jeez. Nice one, mate. I think that show will return, potentially. I don't know. That's what I mean. It's going to be so interesting to see what Smith picks, because we do have quite a few options. So it's going to be so interesting. Who does he prefer? Obviously, sometimes in the past he has played two up top for Brentford. He played Watkins and Morpay. So could we see a partnership of Vardy, Iheanacho, Vardy, Daka, Iheanacho, Daka, or Daka, Vardy? I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's going to be so interesting to see the tactics and all that type of stuff. But yeah, boys, I think that is where we're going to put a wrap on tonight's stream. If you've got any final questions, feel free to let me know in the chat. Just like I said a few times, we'll be going live tomorrow night with Harry, who is an Aston Villa fan, who's going to give us a complete rundown on Dean Smith. Really, obviously, he is an Aston Villa fan, so he's seen him at his club for a number of years. So he's going to go through the tactics and stuff and how he expects Dean Smith to do. We'll have a quick more read of the tactics thing for Dean Smith as well, which will be interesting. If you want to have a read of it, it's on the Coach's Voice. Just type up the Coach's Voice, Dean Smith, and you look at some of the tactical stuff behind Leicester's new gaffer. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Announcement should be tomorrow morning, or maybe even tonight. But I'd assume it'd probably be tomorrow sometime. But yeah, pretty much Dean Smith to Leicester's done. Shakespeare's back. John Terry's coming in. Very interesting day for Leicester City. Big thanks to you guys coming in. It's good to be back. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 8:30. We'll be live probably Wednesday as well, and I'll probably go live every single night this week. So there we go. Lucky boys. But yeah, I'll see you boys later. Stay safe. Up the Leicester, and this up Dean Smith's Blue White Army.